Assalamualaikum and hi everyone.
We are from Group 7.
We're going to present the first analysis about
Symbolism and Allegory.
Symbolism. Symbolism is the idea that represents other words. It is also an object, concept, or word does not have to be limited to a single meaning. There are 8 types of symbolism. It is metaphor, simile, allegory, archetype, hyperbole, personification, metonymy, and irony. Symbolism can be seen on the Malaysian flag. The first one is dark blue color that represent the unity and harmony among Malaysians. The second one is yellow color of the crescent and star is the royal color of the rulers. The third one is white color. It is symbolized honesty and integrity. The fourth one is red color that signifies bravery and courage in facing challenges. The fifth one is star. The 14-pointed star symbolizes the unity of the 13 states with the federal government.
Next, allegory. An allegory refers to a narrative wherein a character, event, or place delivers a larger message about a real-world concern or occurrence. In other words, it is a story in which most characters and plot developments are symbols for something else, or in which the story in its entirety symbolizes a larger phenomenon in the real world or society. Rather than coming right out and saying it, allegories use characters and events to reveal a hidden meaning or message. An allegory is essentially an extended use of a metaphor and symbolism in general. So, what's the difference between symbolism and allegory?
Symbolism is a literary device,
While allegory is a type of symbolism.
Symbolism also represents one particular item, like a dove, to represent something else.
While allegory is a narrative, as the moral lesson is in the form of an allegorical story.
So we know that symbolism can be just a part of the story, poem, or book.
But allegory is a whole story, poem, or book.
So there are 8 types of symbolism.
But for allegory, it has 4 types. So let's move on to how symbolism presented. Symbolism is the idea that represents other things. It is not limited to single meaning and it can be object, concept, or a word. Metaphor, simile, allegory, archetype, hyperbole, personification, metonymy, and irony are the types of symbolism. For instance, symbolism can be seen in Harry Potter the movie. There are 4 houses in Harry Potter the movie that called as Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Slytherin, and Ravenclaw. Each house has its own noble history and each has produced an outstanding witch and wizards. The sorting hat will magically determine to which of the 4 school houses each new student is to be assigned.
You will come forth. I shall place the sorting hat on your head, and you will be sorted into your houses.
Gryffindor! Slytherin! Gryffindor!
So let's move to the how allegory presented. So allegory gives the writer a chance to show their own creativity when conveying an important message. Writer can put anything that they want to suit their story as the allegory. They also have room to create more complex characters using techniques like indirect characterization. The most important thing about the allegory is it can make a story stand on its own and make the underlying message is clear. The example of how allegory presented is the allegory of the World Chronicles of Narnia series represent Christian faith. For example, Aslan the lion represents Jesus because the way Aslan died parallels with the way Jesus died, that written in the Bible, and most of the main characters in the series are based on the biblical characters. So now I want to tell about how to recognize symbolism in a short story. So you can recognize symbolism when an image in a piece of the text seems to indicate something other than its literal meaning. It could be repeated or seem somewhat jarring, as if the author is intentionally pointed it out. Symbolism can be seen in the Cinderella story. So the first example is glass shoe. This is a symbolism used repetitively in the fairy tale Cinderella to show that the purity of the main character Cinderella. So the second one is the example is pumpkin in the fairy tale as the symbolism for Cinderella's transformation.
So let's talk about how to recognize allegory. You can recognize allegory as a story, picture, or other piece of art that uses symbols to convey a hidden or ulterior meaning, typically a moral or political one. In its most simple and concise definition, an allegory is when a piece of visual or narrative media uses one thing to stand in for a different hidden idea. For example, we can see an allegory in the story of The Hare and Tortoise. The Hare and Tortoise is a modern allegory where the author portrays that determination and consistency will never lose to arrogancy.
So, now we will pass this to our friend to present the analysis of symbolism and allegory in the story of an hour.
So, Ame, Ain, the ball is in your court now. Thank you.